Good morning, folks. It's 6:32 and 41.4 degrees on day 56. It is cool and wet outside, but it seems like the rain has stopped, so I'm gonna go wake up. Okay, good morning, folks. It is 7:50, 10 to 8, 40.6 degrees. That temperature I gave you this morning when I was waking up, that was inside the tent, so that's always going to be, it's always going to be just a couple degrees warmer. Today should be a kind of interesting day. I'm not really sure exactly how it's going to go, per usual, I suppose. I know I have just a touch over 8.5 miles to get down to Parisburg. There's like a Walmart and a Food Lion, I think, in town there, and I'm gonna need to get some resupply to keep me on trail. There's also according to the guidebook, anyways, a all-you-can-eat Chinese restaurant. So I'm kind of hoping I can make it there for lunch and do some damage. But after the resupply and after lunch, I think I mentioned on yesterday's video that there's a 15-mile section of the AT that's closed coming out of Parisburg. So I'm gonna need to try and find a ride to get around that closed section and then pick up the trail on the north end. So once you're back on trail, 15 miles north of Parisburg, there's a shelter like 4 or 5 miles or something in, and there's a campsite like 6 or 9 miles or something like that. And I'm not really even going to start thinking what it is I'd rather do, or what it is I think I can do or should do, or whatever. It's just all totally going to depend on how quickly I can get from the trail to Parisburg, how quickly I can resupply, how quickly I can max out my Chinese lunch, and how quickly I can get from town to that reopened section. So I mean, all of that could take a few hours potentially. I don't really know, but it'll just kind of depend what time of day it is once I get back on trail. Yeah, storm last night was fun. It rained pretty good for several hours, but I just kind of threw in my earplugs, slept real nice. No worries at all. Stayed dry, still had my 0-degree bag, so stayed warm, plenty warm. Slept pretty good, no worries. Packed up. The rain had stopped well before I woke up. I don't know when, maybe 4 or 3 in the morning or something like that, so everything's definitely still wet, but it wasn't raining anyway, so that's nice. Anyways, it is a chilly morning. As I said, it's 40 degrees, so I'm gonna go ahead and start moving quicker so I can warm up, but I'll check in with you all a little later. Alright folks, it is 5 past 10 and 47.8 degrees. I just got off that bit of a ridge run, which was really fun, and now I'm kind of descending down into Parisburg. But it is day 56, and day 56 means it's time once again for my weekly health report. I'm just not sure exactly what form the rest of the day is going to take between the shuttles and the lunch and the resupply and all this and that. So it is a little earlier in the day than I usually would do this, but I thought it might be a good decision to go ahead and take care of this. So yeah, day 56 health report, feeling pretty good. You know, a couple blisters here and there. Pretty well eaten through now my second pair of Injinji toe socks. And when I was putting on my socks this morning, it looked like the Smart Wool quarter length sock that I've been using over that is also probably on its last day of use or so. So I do have a couple of small foot discomforts that are resulting from the fact that the hole in my left Injinji sock is like that big around the heel. I could pretty well slide my whole foot through that hole. But, you know, so far the Smart Wool's been keeping it padded, but that one too, as I say, is now going. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be new sock day tomorrow. I usually carry, 2 days, essentially 2 pairs of the Injinji toe socks and 2 pairs of the Smart Wool quarter length cushion socks. I think all my backups for the Smart Wools are the Darn Toughs. I just wanted to use up these Smart Wools before I switched them out, but 600 and some odd miles is a pretty noble life for the Smart Wool, so color me impressed. And the Injinjis, they've been getting holes. They're much thinner. They're just liner socks. So anyways, about health. Blisters on my feet, small ones, not even really that painful at all, but just something to keep covered and keep taped up. And I still got tape on my hands for my hand blisters. Let's see, knee and shin. Honestly, since that ford a few days ago, since I had to go through that flooded up creek, I haven't been wearing my ace bandage just to kind of see how that would go. And I'll wait until I get closer to this tree. So far, so good. So now I'm just kind of carrying my ace bandage, but I'll keep on carrying that. Whatever, it's weight, but it's a useful tool if and when I need it again. The shin's been okay. The knee has been okay. I'm still wearing the knee brace. Let me do this for that last declarative statement. Yeah, still wearing the knee brace. Just doesn't bother me that much to wear it, so may as well keep wearing it. Only other health thing I'll report, since it's coming up this week, I guess right at the end of the week, really. Well, yeah, right before my next weekly health report, is that I'm going to be getting my second dose of the Moderna COVID vaccine, very near Roanoke, Virginia. My parents are actually driving out for that, so they're going to be getting a hotel in Roanoke, and I'll be staying with them at least one night. And perhaps more, depending how that vaccine goes for me. I've heard kind of mixed reports about, side effects. So we'll kind of have to see how that goes. Either way, I mean, whatever. If it knocks me off trail for 3 or 4 days, I don't care. Color me happy that I have a vaccine. So, obviously that's not what I would prefer. I prefer to get the shot and get right back on trail, but I think the the more responsible move will be to kind of hole up for a night, and see how my body reacts. I've heard about people having, you know, some nausea and GI and fever and flu-like symptoms. So, you know, we'll kind of see how I go with that. If I can get back on trail quick, that would be my preference, very much my preference. But it'll be nice to have my folks there feeding me and and housing me and kind of looking out for me in case it gets rough. So yeah, so that's pretty much a weekly health report. I mean, everything else is good. Eyes, neck, back. I've been sleeping a little less regularly, kind of flipping around a little bit more often than I'd like, spinning this way and that as I sleep. So hopefully I can start sleeping a little more soundly here tonight and tomorrow in the next few days, but we'll see. We'll keep hiking either way. So anyways, yeah, should be less than 2 miles now from Parisburg, and I'll see you down there. All right, folks, it is 50.4 degrees and 10:39. It's pretty. I just got off the AT at Cross Ave, or a road called 793, 739, something like that. This is going to take me right into Parisburg. Bummer is that I made it here a little quicker than I wanted to, and the reason why that's a bummer is because I really wanted to hit the Chinese buffet before Walmart, or Food Lion, or wherever's closer for the resupply, because I've resupplied once hungry, and it's a mistake. You get an extra heavy bag if you do that. So I guess we'll see how long it takes me to actually get to town and see where the Chinese place is and where the closest grocery spot is, and then we'll kind of reassess from there. I did run into Spring on the trail, a nice young lady from Massachusetts. I saw her at the shelter last night before I pushed on and camped elsewhere. She wound up staying at the shelter with another gal named Miles, who was also very friendly, but I didn't really hang out with her too much. She stayed at the shelter the night, and arrived after, well, whatever. I didn't really get to chat too much with Miles. But I think Spring is pushing on. Miles woke up at the shelter, and I never passed her today, so she must have been behind me when I started. And I think the two of them are planning on getting to Parisburg and then finding a ride up to the north end of the closure. And then I think they were both looking at potentially staying at that shelter that's like 4 miles after the closure or something. But it's okay, puppy. But you know, all kind of depends how the timing works out. And that's my story too. All kind of depends how the timing works out. So anyways, I'll get walking down to town and see what's going on down there. I'll check in with y'all later. All right. Well, folks, just finished a bit of a lunch over at the Mexican joint there. It's 1:37 p.m. Just about to jump in a shuttle north of the closure. I think that's my man over there in the van, perhaps. The Chinese buffet is closed. It's only doing carry out right now, so yeah, I'll check back with you. All right, good afternoon, folks. Just got out the shuttle at 2:04 p.m. Getting back on the AT at mile 657 flat. So mile 657, that's the Peters Mountain trailhead or parking lot. Just the north end of the trail closure. And I am breaking north, obviously. It is, as I said, it's only a couple minutes after 2, so I can't imagine why in the world I would want to stop at that nearer shelter. But I think I'll probably go ahead and get down there and then pull out my phone and kind of sit down and figure out exactly where I want to go. Maybe I'll look at my phone as we walk, I don't know. Yeah, that Mexican joint was good, man. Good little lunch. I was definitely a little heartbroken about the Chinese buffet being closed, because I'd kind of psyched myself out for that. But yeah, I guess COVID or whatever, they're just doing carry out only, and that doesn't have anywhere near the same appeal. So, got some Mexican, hung out, and then it was, I think it's, yeah, some dude in town was able to, I'll put his name below because I can't remember right now. That's cool. Was kind enough to sell me a fuel canister and give me a lift out here to the northern and north end of the trail closure. So anyways, still plenty of good hours in the day. Little cool, but we will warm up, that's for sure. See y'all later. So it is 6:30 and I made it to camp for the night. You can see my tent, and that tent beyond is another hiker who decided to post up at the same spot, so he's in there. Man, it was a good day. I'm glad I was able to get from to Parisburg back to the trail relatively easily. I think I spent just about exactly 3 hours in town, which between lunch and resupply and then getting a shuttle out, I'm pretty happy with that for 3 hours from trail to trail. It was a pretty good day. I'm not really sure exactly how many miles I did. It's tough to calculate off the top of my head with that split in the day, but certainly by the time I put up this video, I'll know exactly how many miles it was, and so will you. So yeah, I'm not really sure what the next couple days are going to look like, and as far as mileage and all that, I know my parents are going to be getting to Roanoke in a few days. Let's see, 4 days I think is when they're getting there, and I plan on being there in 5 days. Well, I plan on meeting up with them in 5 days, I should say. So, you know, I might make it there before them, in which case I'll just hike forward and they can pick me up north of Roanoke, or I might make it there about the same time as them. I don't think I'd make it there too much before, but either way, that's something for another day. Man, such a huge lunch at that Mexican restaurant. I didn't even cook dinner at all tonight. I'm not making any dinner. I'm just still stuffed from that. So yeah, there's a big old tree making a lot of noise just right next to my tent. So that's pretty fun. Anyways, yeah, no dinner for me tonight. I already pitched up the bear bag, and with the tent all in position, I think I'm prepared to bunk up for the night. I think it's going to get cold tonight. It should get right down to about freezing, so whatever. I got gear for that. I'm not too worried. So dry and cold is no worries at all. Wet and cold is less comfortable, but okay. But tonight should be dry and cold, so no worries at all. All right, that's it. See you tomorrow.